Alen the Savage Babic versus Tom Little, the official prediction. Knuckleheads, welcome to the Fighters Rep, where we give you free fights, interviews, and fight commentary from the mind of a promoter / attorney. So I love this fight because I love Alen the Savage Babic. And the reason I love Alen the Savage Babic, and I gotta give credit to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing for showcasing this, guys, because he's one of those throwback guys that is down to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. And that's something that boxing, especially the heavyweight division right now, is absolutely starving for. When you look at the landscape and you contrast it with a guy like Deontay Wilder, who is still crying about a loss that happened in February, blaming his trainer for spiking his water, blaming his costume for being too heavy. I mean, the excuses that I've heard are blasphemous to my manhood and blasphemous to boxing. So I love a guy like Alen the Savage Babic, who, may I add, is basically managed by another guy who is probably my favorite boxer in the fight game, in Dillian Whyte. And a lot of people will probably laugh at me for liking Dillian Whyte and considering him my favorite boxer in boxing. I don't care that he got knocked out versus Alexander Povetkin the last time out. For me, that just indicates that the guy is not afraid to get in there and challenge himself against the very best fighters in the world. Dillian Whyte is the real can man. Dillian Whyte is the guy who wants to fight everybody, and birds of a feather flock together, and that's why I enjoy Alen the Savage Babic, because he wants to fight whoever they put in front of him. So shout out to Dillian Whyte. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about this Alen the Savage Babic fight. You know, he's going to be taking on Tom Little, a guy who's tough, but let's face it, keeps coming up short, especially in his last few fights. A limited guy. More of a boxer. And Alen the Savage Babic, just an absolute monster. I mean, the guy goes in there and he just bangs you out. He just throws haymakers and tries to bomb you out of there. And it's pure entertainment. And, you know, the Savage does have, or must have, some sort of skill because, you know, he has a pretty lengthy amateur pedigree. Not that he was an amazing amateur or a standout in any way, but he has an amateur pedigree. He definitely knows how to box. But the most important thing is the guy has an incredible amount of self-belief. Even though he's a smaller heavyweight, he knows he can compete at the highest level because he's been getting sparring in with the likes of Dillian Whyte, who, you know, face it, is one of the best heavyweights in the world, definitely top 5, top 10. And Alen the Savage Babic apparently holds his own in sparring, and so you know this guy has definitely got some goods. I mean, he may not be the goods, but he's definitely got some goods. So again, he's going to be taking on Tom Little. Tom Little, I believe, is a gypsy too, a very tough guy. Alen the Savage Babic, you know, more of a, I don't know, a rural kind of countryside dude from Croatia who worked as a bouncer for a very long time, but a guy who says that he's been boxing nonstop for the last at least 10 years, and he just predicts quick knockouts and makes it happen. We saw it against Shondell Winters. We saw it against Niall Kennedy. And now he's saying he's going to do the same to Tom Little. The only difference here is he's actually pissed off at Tom Little for taking the side of Filip Hrgovic, which is Babic's countryman that Babic really can't stand. So he's pissed off the Savage, and the Savage is saying he might finish him in round 1. I think I heard some people say round 2. And I think it's just going to be a really fun fight for boxing. Look, this is why the majority of people tune in. They want to watch two guys go in there and bang each other out. The other important thing about this fight that I want to talk about before I get into my prediction is Tom Little looks to be in the best shape he's been in probably ever, right? probably ever. But I think as the Savage rather indicated, doing CrossFit for a month versus fighting for 10 years and constantly being in fight shape are two different things. And it's not going to be enough to stand up to the Savage. So, despite the fact that Tom Little has a more extensive pro record, despite the fact that he's going to be the bigger man, because the Savage, let's face it, is not a very big guy. I think the Savage is going to do the business tomorrow. I think he really does take Tom Little out within the first 4 or 5 rounds. I really believe it. I'm excited, though, to see if Tom Little can kind of push this beyond that. I would love to see how the Savage looks as the fight progresses, if he could keep up that hellish pace he puts on people. Something tells me that he can. Something tells me that he can. I believe the guy works hard. I believe the guy has one focus, one goal, and it's boxing. I can almost see it in his character and in his demeanor, the way he carries himself, the way he talks about the sport. I'm not one of those guys that's going to say he's too small for heavyweight. I do think it's great news that the WBC came out with a bridgerweight division. Maybe that's somewhere he can compete as well. But I see him trying to compete at heavyweight at the highest level, and I see him definitely having some success. I think tomorrow is a good litmus test for him. I look forward to seeing him fight. I look forward to seeing Tom Little fight. And I do think, again, my prediction is the Savage takes him out within 5 rounds. Knuckleheads, let me know what your prediction is on the fight tomorrow between Alen the Savage Babic and Tom Little. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it. Join Knucklehead Nation. Get your FightersRep shirt, man. Get your FightersRep shirts. We got masks, we got tanks, we got hoodies. The shirts are only $20. The masks, I think, are $15 or something like that. Listen, anything you guys spend here helps me build the channel and also build the only kickboxing promotion that matters. And we need it right now in this stupid lockdown. So I really appreciate it. That's my ask for you guys. Get yourself a FightersRep shirt. Take a picture of it on social media. I'll post you guys on social media and on the YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Help us build, again, the greatest kickboxing promotion in the world. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this fight. I'm pumped about this fight.